Have you ever hopped in the car to go somewhere and then wondered how you got there? Don't we go through a lot of life that way, on autopilot? Metaphorically speaking, we hop in the car to go somewhere and our mind is off somewhere else, and then we arrive and we don't even remember the journey. I'm Joe Tye, CEO of Values Coach, and your coach for this course on the 12 Core Action Values. And today in this module we're going to cover mindfulness, which is the first cornerstone of core action value number 3, awareness. Simply being mindful, not going through life on autopilot. The Gallup organization, they do all the big polls and everything. The Gallup organization has done surveys of over 1 million people around the world in the workplace. And what they have found is that about 25% of people are really engaged with their work, really engaged with their coworkers. That is mindfulness. 60% are just going through the motions. They come in the morning, they go through the motions, they do their job. Doesn't mean they're doing a bad job, but they're not engaged. They're just doing the job. They're not engaged with the work, and they're not engaged with their coworkers. They're not engaged with the customers. They're engaged, if anything, with their job description. And 15%, Gallup says, are the people who are actively disengaged. In our work with corporations and hospitals, we think of those people as spark plugs, really engaged, zombies, not engaged, just going through the motions, and vampires, the people who suck the life out of an organization by being actively disengaged. Now, it is a huge cost to organizations when people are not engaged, but the real price is the one you pay yourself. Think about this. All emotional pain is caused by non-mindfulness. All emotional pain is caused by projecting yourself back into the past or into the future. Think about it. Anger, regret, guilt, shame, all of those negative emotions, you're just carrying around the dead weight of the past. That has nothing to do with today. It's all 5 minutes ago, 5 hours, 50 years ago. Fear, anxiety, worry, doubt, uncertainty, dread, all of those negative emotions are projecting yourself forward into the future. And you're making up a future in most cases. In my book, Never Fear, Never Quit, written many years ago, I wrote that fear is many tomorrows. Courage is one today. That's really mindfulness, not just projecting all the tomorrows and living there. Doesn't mean you don't plan for it, but you don't live there. You live today. Many years ago, Ram Dass wrote a cult classic back in the 60s called Be Here Now. Don't be in some other time zone. Don't be in some other building. Keep your attention here in the present. I believe that really is the secret of success and happiness. For successful careers, if you want to be an effective manager, I think it is paramount that you learn how to be mindful, how to really connect with somebody else in a conversation, how to really read people. Likewise, being a parent, being a salesperson, just about being a doctor, being a nurse, being able to connect with a patient. Being mindful is the essence of being a successful professional. Now, if you read, and there have been a lot of books written on mindfulness one way or another. Eckhart Tolle, Thich Nhat Hanh, the Dalai Lama, the whole meditation wave, whether you're talking about Zen meditation or transcendental meditation, two very different approaches, I think with the same end goal in mind. Every meditation technique, whether you're talking Zen, transcendental, centering prayer, walking meditation, they all begin with this one point, and that is your breathing. Monitoring, paying attention to your breathing. And it's really amazing. As we grow, we forget how to breathe. We don't forget to breathe. You can't do that. We forget how to breathe. We end up breathing in a very shallow range up here in our chest instead of taking these deep, full breaths down into our diaphragm, into our belly. Many years ago, I talked to Stefan Rechtschaffen, MD, one of the founders of the Omega Institute in upstate New York. And what he said is that we tend to breathe in this very shallow, rapid way. And it's almost like a little mini panic attack, because that's the breathing technique of fear, fight or flight. And he said it's like you got a little fireman sitting on your shoulder yelling, fire, 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 all day long in a soft whisper. And by the end of the day, you're all stressed out. And just stopping and breathing can help you resolve, help you deal with that stress. I do a lot of speaking. I travel a lot. And I recently just absolutely blew my vocal cords. I could not even speak. That's a scary thing for somebody in my field. Well, I went online, I did some research, I asked people in one of the groups I'm in online who are speakers, what do you do? And every single response, I got an opera singer in New York, I got somebody who wrote a book for rock and roll singers, plus speaking coaches, and they all started with the same thing, learn how to breathe. Pick up the book, Zen and the Art of Archery. Poor guy, he had to spend 2 years learning how to breathe before the archery master would even begin to let him pick up the bow and the arrow. So here's my homework for you for today. Every 15 minutes or so, stop and take a deep breath. At the end of the day, lie on the floor and do what I call two-stage breathing. First, breathe in through your abdomen, fill your belly as much as you can with air, and then your chest. Get as much air as you can in. Blow it out. And with that, blow out all the stress, anxiety, worry of the day, and prepare yourself for a gentle evening. I'm Joe Tye again, and tomorrow we're going to talk about objectivity. How do you see things as they really are? But for today, be mindful and keep breathing.